Hello everybody, welcome back once again. We're playing Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Just about to do the Merchant City of Order here, but before I do that, I wanted to go through and read out the Germanic scriptures. So let's take a look here at reading materials.
These tomes are the product of much sweat and toil.
Okay, so this is the Scriptures of Germanic, historical account of Saint Ajora's life recorded by his disciple Germanic. Its very existence has been denied. Let's read. I opened the Scriptures of Germanic, entrusted to me by Elder Simon, and began to leaf through the pages. Words before my eyes were writ in a holy script of the ancients far beyond my ken. Several illustrations were scattered throughout, but many pages were missing or damaged, and the script was exceedingly difficult to decipher. As I turned the pages, faintly penned words in modern Ivalician script occasionally caught my eye. Notes of an explanatory nature had been added here and there throughout the book, all written in the same hand, although exactly whose I could not say. A faint scent of ink rose from these notes, and as I touched my finger to one of them, the writing smeared. It seemed to have been penned only in the last few days. I then realized that these transcriptions were most likely Elder Simon's work. He must have devoted a significant portion of his life as custodian of the underground library to deciphering these scriptures, line by painstaking line. I relied heavily on his fragmentary notes as I continued reading. Apparently, the Holy Script had been recorded by Germanic, but who was that? The name struck a familiar chord as half-forgotten history lessons rose unbidden in my mind, and then I remembered. Germanic was a disciple of Saint Ajora who betrayed his master, turning him over to the Holy Edoran Empire, and in doing so, ensured his name would live on in infamy. I was astounded that a librum penned by the same Germanic from my history lessons now rested in my very hands. Saint Ajora was a child of the gods, descended from the heavens to deliver humanity from its self-inflicted chaos. By his prophecies was the word of the divine imparted upon mortal men. After his death, these teachings formed the basis of the Church of Clavidos, its name meaning to obey God in the holy tongue of the ancients. The Church's influence later spread throughout Ivalice and further afield to Ordalia, Ramonda, and beyond. The deeds of Saint Ajora are well known to all, and yet I would seek to learn more of his remarkable journey. Saint Ajora's birth came some 1,200 years ago, in the midst of a golden age of technology, when airships yet plied the skies. He was born in Lasalia, the city of Brevenia. Moments after his birth, he rose to his feet and approached a well. Upon reaching its base, words of prophecy poured forth from his infant lips. A calamity shall soon befall this well. Seal it up at once, that none may drink of it. Some days later, a plague descended on the town of Brevenia, and all those who drank from the well succumbed to the contagion and perished. Only those families who heeded the prophetic words of Saint Ajora were spared from malady and death. After the incident with the well, the people came to revere Saint Ajora as a portent of miracle and a child of the gods. Then, at the age of 20, his life was cut short. The circumstances surrounding his death are closely tied to the legend of the Zodiac Braves, told throughout Ivalice since ancient times. To trace the story of these fabled warriors, I must delve yet further into the past. Ivalice was not always united as it is today. Long ago, the realm was divided into 7 domains: Favaham, Lionel, Limberry, Lasalia, Galleon, Zeltania, and Malone. Each warred with the others in a never-ending struggle to expand its own territory. It was the age of feudalism. This conflict had continued for centuries, until an ambitious young king rose to power in Moland. This young monarch dreamt of uniting all of Ivalice under his hand, but the road to victory was a difficult and dangerous one. The king turned to ancient tomes and dark magics found within, summoning a demon from the netherworld to do his bidding. But once unleashed, the demon slew the king and set out to destroy the very world itself. To combat this monstrosity, a great hero set out on a quest. Together with his 12 comrades, he collected the zodiac stones that had been scattered throughout the world, and thereby formed the Zodiac Braves. These warriors soon defeated the demon and its minions, and banished the creature back to its infernal plane. Their deeds came to be told as the legend of the Zodiac Braves. The Zodiac Braves have since appeared whenever the world balanced on the brink of catastrophe, only to vanish just as quickly once the crisis had been averted. Similar catastrophe threatened the world in the time of Saint Ajora. The liege lord of Limberry summoned a demon in hopes of seizing control of all of Ivalice, and once again plunged the world into chaos. And just as in the legend, Saint Ajora collected the 12 Zodiac Stones, once again, the Zodiac Braves rose to defeat the marauding demon. Thus was Saint Ajora hailed as the world's savior. However, the sovereigns of any age have small tolerance for the interference of well-meaning heroes. Saint Ajora's fame drew the ire of the Holy Edoran Empire, which dispatched soldiers to capture him and his devoted followers. Pharism was the prevalent religion in that day, and its priests feared Ajora's growing influence. Ultimately, Germanic, the 13th disciple, was tempted by sordid coin, offering vital information that led to his master's capture. The saint was executed upon the gallows of Golgotha soon after. But lest we forget, Saint Ajora was a child of the gods. The wrath of the heavens was swift and terrible. Immediately following the execution, Mullen, the center of Ferris teachings, was visited by a terrible cataclysm. The skies rained blood, and a storm of golden lightning ravaged the city. The very earth trembled, and with a thunderous roar, Mullen sank into the sea. This was the legend with which I was familiar, the very same tale told to every child of Ivalice. But the Saint Ajora described within the scriptures of Germanic was a different man altogether. Ajora was no child of the gods. He was a mere mortal, no more divine than you or I. He was a revolutionary who fought to realize his own ambitions. He was no lover of peace, no hero who would sacrifice himself for the good of humanity. Germanic wrote of him, "As the founder of a new religion with a rising number of followers, Ajora was seen as no more than a nuisance to the empire. But to the slaves and the destitute who suffered most under imperial rule, the fair treatment and equal opportunities espoused by Ajora appeared as a ray of hope, and he as their savior." But Ajora was apparently more than just a religious founder. He was a saboteur who infiltrated enemy states to collect information and sow disorder. Ajora was a spy, dispatched to the Holy Edoran Empire by a rival state. His teachings, the faith they inspired, and the influence he wielded were but contrivances to enact the downfall of the empire, orchestrated from within its borders by Ajora himself. But for all his guile, the Imperials were fully aware of the threat that Ajora posed. Germanic was employed to collect evidence that would allow the empire to arrest Ajora as a spy. The 13th disciple was in reality no more than the empire's instrument in a play to uncover Ajora's true intentions. It seemed that Ajora indeed attempted to form the Zodiac Braves. Germanic confirmed in his writings that Ajora even discovered some of the stones and had entrusted them to his closest disciples. But what was his purpose in forming the Zodiac Braves anew? I do not know if the liege lord of Limberry actually summoned a demon. Elder Simon's notes speak of his doubts on the matter, and not a single line within the scripture seems to record the event. Nevertheless, it appears the catastrophe in which the greater part of Malone sank into the sea did indeed coincide with Ajora's execution. The footnotes provided further enlightenment. They expressed a different view, no doubt the personal opinion of Elder Simon. Although many spoke of their existence, none had ever set eyes upon these scriptures of Germanic. Some might say they are fraudulent, written with the sole purpose of discrediting Saint Ajora, but I know this tome to be authentic. When I served as an inquisitor for the church, those in its upper echelons feared the existence of this work, and the same is no doubt true for the High Confessor. They were all fearful of these writings, for everything contained within them is fact. After Saint Ajora's death, the church, which had capitalized on his considerable influence to seize power for itself, had only one task: to conceal his true nature as a human being. This one fact had to be erased from the annals of history. They needed to ensure that Saint Ajora be remembered as a child of the gods. Their use of the Zodiac Braves, a legend believed throughout the continent, was a stroke of genius. It was a simple feat to convince the people that Saint Ajora had held the Zodiac Braves to defeat a demon that never existed. I realize now that I had lost my faith the moment I began to read these scriptures, and yet I feel no sorrow. Thinking back, I now know that my desire to know the truth was stronger than my faith had ever been, but above all, I am as guilty as any involved in this great travesty. All these years, the church has concealed the truth and lied to our flock. Though I am compelled to condemn these acts, I cannot bring myself to do so. Even were I to bring the scriptures before the people, the church would not stand idle. In all likelihood, I would be accused of heresy and burned at the stake. But that is not the true reason for my inaction. This library is everything to me. It is a treasure beyond compare, the only means of slaking my endless thirst for knowledge. If I were to share this book with the world, my precious library would be taken from me. I cannot allow it to be separated from my tomes. I can think of no pain greater. In the end, my curiosity eclipsed my will to do what was right. Within these pages lies the truth hidden by the church for so many years. The miracles of Saint Ajora were not but lies, and he but an ordinary man. But interweaving the events surrounding Ajora's death with his mendacious teachings, his followers fabricated a means by which to seize power. But is that really all there is to know? Elder Simon wrote that Saint Ajora's demon never existed, but I have seen the dark power of the Zodiac Stones with my own eyes. There is an evil presence at work, something much more sinister than even the High Confessor and his twisted plots. Alright, we did it.
Take care.
Made it all the way through. Let's get out of here. Alright, on to the merchant city of Dorter.
You are the heretic Ramza Beowulf, yes?
Who are you? You do not appear to be of the Template.
You will come to Riovani's castle. Your sister will be returned in exchange for the scriptures of Jarmonique.
Riovanis? What does Grand Duke Barrington have to do with this? I had heard he keeps both Dukes Larg and Goltana at arm's length, and fields no troops in their conflict. Why would Alma be in his custody? What interest does he have in the book?
Surely you have read the scriptures.
Yes, I've read them. Could it be the Grand Duke is in league with the Church? If so, having its secrets exposed will be problematic for him too.
You are in no position to make threats. If you wish to see your sister again, you will come to the castle and do nothing extraneous. My lord awaits.
So here you are. They've been searching high and low for you. What is it? Are you unwell? Ah, but I forget myself. I hope this day finds your Royal Majesty in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
So, what is it that you mean to do with me? I'm not Avalia. There can be no possible value in holding me. No value, even in my living.
Possibly. You are not Avelia. We do not even know your rightful name. Whether even you be highborn or low. No such records remain.
My life until now. What was it all for? Raised to think myself Avelia, I never once suspected that I was merely a replacement for the real princess. Of the royal family. I alone was confined to a remote monastery, far from the seat of our crown. I alone was made to live in seclusion, and had often wondered why. Even so, this I thought a burden light enough. If it meant the kingdom would know peace. Yet still Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude. What purpose did it serve? How ironic it is. Now that I am free of the monastery, I find myself longing for it. Though I may have been a bird in a cage, at least the song I sang was my own.
It has been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a nobleman, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for patrons unseen. Most men but play the part they're given. Most live and die not knowing they play a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their puppet no more. I will exact from them the price of the merry dance they lead.
And just what is it you plan to do?
You must place your trust in me, Ivalice. I will burn down this kingdom and build a new one. A kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun. A world without darkness. A world where you will always be Ivalice. This is my heart's desire. For you are my purpose. My everything. You will have no more need of tears.
Can I truly trust in you?
I will never betray you. Never. On Teacher's soul, I swear it. So come now. Dry your tears.
So I haven't even got to the battle yet, and we're already like almost 20 minutes into the video. Anyways, let's do the battle here at the Grogh Heights. Oh, Grogh Heights, it looks like. Grogh Heights? I don't, whatever. Anyway.
Ever ready.
All right.
I am ready. I'll do what I can.
It's time. How could they have found us when we have fled so far? Have the gods no mercy? Is that a scouting party from the Order of the Southern Sky? We are done with fighting! We've had our fill of blood and death! It doesn't matter if we're poor, but our place is with our families. I'm going back to my wife and child. You will not force us to return. Deserters, it seems. Pray, heed my words. We do not pursue you. It is not our wish to fight. Aye, that much I'll believe. Better to strike us down cleanly when our backs are turned. Do not think us so green as to fall for your tricks.
That man, does he not have a look of the one on the handbill?
What? Are you sure?
Aye, it's him all right. Ramzabael the heretic. What do you say we claim his head and take it back to camp?
Are you serious? We're deserters. Our heads would be on spikes next to his.
Consider it. As a son of House Baelv, he's no mere bounty. His family commands the northern sky. We'd be fools to pass up this opportunity.
The man who captured that general were dismissed honorably.
Exactly. If we're to return to our homes, let us do so with our heads held high. Were we to flee now, it would be to a life of skulking in the shadows. They still think we're out scouting, and it could stay that way.
Very well. Let us return with him, or at least with his head. It's not long for those shoulders anyway. He is a heretic after all. Come, let this be our final battle. With this godless man's blood, we buy our way home.
It seems there is no avoiding this fight.
Oh, it's definitely going to be their final battle. Just isn't going to play out the way they think. Alright, we'll have the ladies mince him up.
Right then.
Gonna hang back here with Stadio.
Got me to contend with.
Oh, I forgot to take Arts of War back off. Oh well.
Take this!
Denied.
It's over!
I don't want to die.
Leave it to me.
Everybody's being disabled. No actions for you boys.
Right. What to do?
Alright.
Senses keen.
Let me see.
Alright, that's that.
That they should throw their lives away. And yet, what right have I to blame them? Father, what would you have done? Did I have any other choice? Is that?
We meet again.
I see the Black Lion sits upon your breast. You are of the Order of the Southern Sky, then?
I am. And it would seem we have you to thank for dealing with our deserters. I must admit, I did not expect to see a son of House Beowulf lend his aid to our order.
The fight was not of my choosing.
Forgive me. I know you do not wish to shed blood. But it cannot always be avoided. We're no different. Had we the choice, we would not be hunting these men.
You knew who I was all along, didn't you?
I did. I'd seen your name and face upon a bill. While the bounty was certainly impressive, 'twas the charge of heresy that caught my eye. They claim you murdered Cardinal Delacroix, but I somehow find that hard to believe.
Have you a mind to turn me in?
Why would I do that? Our orders are to capture deserters. They say nothing of heretics already hunted mercilessly by the Church. If I were one of those, I think I'd get moving before the lions at my heels thought to feast upon me as well.
Why do you still fight? I do not see why anyone should want to prolong this senseless war.
So long as your brothers point their swords at our throats, we must.
If the White Lion lowered his claws, would the Black follow suit?
No, I do not think it like he would.
Could you deliver a message to Count Orlando, if you should chance to meet him? There are men behind the curtain who goad the dukes for their own gain. We are all but puppets, dancing as they pull our strings. It is those men we ought to be fighting.
I can deliver the message, but why to the Count?
My father once told me Count Orlando was the only man he could truly call a friend.
Lord Barbeneth said that. Very well. I will tell the Count what you've told me.
Then you believe me?
Prior to joining House Durai, I was the Count's adopted son, and still regard him as my father. I know for a fact that he returns your father's fondness. In honor of their friendship, I will trust you, Ramza. Now, I do not know the reason these men seek the Zodiac Stones. If it is for the benefit of the people, I see no reason to raise protest. But if they seek to use the legend for their own gain, I can assure you my father will not sit idly by. It was not for quiet complacence he was given the name of Thunder God. To worthy causes he would ever lend his strength.
You know of the High Confessor's plot?
Of it, yes. But we have no hard evidence. Our spies are working tirelessly, but I suspect you know more than they. As the heretic who slew Cardinal Delacroix, I dare say you've learned a few things.
If you did have evidence of the plot, would you then be willing to lay down your swords?
Does such evidence exist? Well, whether or not it would mean the end of this conflict, I cannot say. For the gears have long been set in motion. But if evidence did exist that could expose the plot, my father, for one, would surely sheath his blade.
Lord Oren, we must press onward.
Very well. Let us resume our march. Farewell, Ramza. See that you keep your head about your shoulders. Never think yourself without allies. You do have friends. Friends who would gladly lay down their lives fighting beside you. And I count myself among them.
I may not be at your side, but we fight together to end this war. Remember that.
Thank you, Orin.
Orin's a total bro. Alright, that is going to be it for this one. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.